Hello and welcome to this week's TechA video newsletter on Friday the 27th of August 2010. TechA is where we look at the key indices of the CAC, DAX, Dow, FTSE, Nasdaq and Nikkei, and using simple but powerful technical analysis methods we apply them to the charts and do some analysis with a view of gauging where the chart may go over the coming week, and coming back a week later each Friday with a new video. So here we have the CAC. As we can see, huge retracement with the CAC, and I would imagine, I've not looked at the DAX, Dow, FTSE, Nasdaq or Nikkei just yet, but even just looking at the CAC, I would imagine that we're going to see something very similar with many of those. Pretty much along the lines of what we were expecting, with that a fair degree of retracement. Now we're looking to head towards a degree of support. I don't think it's going to happen just yet. We've got a bit of support which is pretty strong at 3,400, but we've had a similar story before with the CAC and many of the others, so I think it's going to go a little bit further still. We may just get a bit of consolidation here. This is simply generated by a prior point of consolidation, so we could move still further to down around about 340, somewhere around about there, basically at this point here. The DAX, I think this one has a better chance of recovery, simply because it's a lot clearer in terms of the support. But what we are likely to see is a relatively broad range consolidation. I don't think we're going to get an aggressive retracement, but it certainly remains to be seen. Certainly if a lot of these are looking sort of towards the Dow for the lead on this. So and then that's going to affect the DAX, and then the DAX is going to affect the CAC, and then they're all kind of looking at the FTSE as well. So, and the FTSE tends not to be the most exciting at the moment. So we're seeing a good degree of support around about 5,810. I do imagine we're likely to see a consolidation with the DAX over the coming week. However, that having said that, despite that being quite a strong support, there is a huge drop which could happen down to 5,600. But it depends whether we get that breach at that support there. If we begin to get that and then we get a close below that, then we're going to see a possibility of a drop below that too. The Dow, which is the one that's been forcing things a little bit, is at 10,000. It's still faffing around at 10,000. It's still kind of worrying. I still believe that it could break through that and then move down further to 9,600. If that happens, and if it does that, as aggressively as it has done over the past week, then we're likely to see the rest, the FTSE, the DAX, the CAC, all follow suit. So we're going to see a fair degree of retracement, certainly if the Dow breaks through this 10,000 mark and then heads down towards 9,600. It could find a midterm support or a midpoint support just here, so it's still not great, but it could begin to find a bit of a support there. But at the moment it's not looking incredibly attractive. We had a doji candle at 10,000, which is pretty much expected, where very strong support, psychological support too, and basically with it being bearish yesterday, there's a point that we could look to see a break. The telltale sign is if we see this wick on this candle here. If it breaks below that, then I do expect it to fall much further, initially to this point and then maybe even down to 9,600. The FTSE really is not the most exciting. It's looking to consolidate basically within these 2 points here. Nothing really dramatic. I do just expect further consolidation. If the if the Dow does fall, I think it's only going to affect the FTSE down to 5,000. Simply because there's so much consolidation going on with the FTSE at the moment. The Nasdaq following suit with the Dow as ever. So if it does break on the Dow, look for a lead on that, and we can expect it to fall at 1,700. If not, we're just going to see over the coming week, because the markets are so bearish predominantly, we're going to just see a consolidation between those two, 1,750 and 1,800. But look for the Dow. I do expect it to fall, if it does fall, but if it does, then it's going to push a lot of these down towards their supports. or their next supports. Surprisingly, I didn't expect this to happen because it does seem to be following the Dow certainly. We've got a break in the support, and then quite a dramatic move down. A bullish move today, but remains to be seen. So if we get a slight bullish move on the Dow, which will then affect all the others, we're likely to see a relatively bullish move, but only up to this resistance here. But having said that, remember with the NIC that it has a nasty habit of breaking supports and resistances left, right and centre. So take the supports and resistances with a good degree of salt. So just beware of that. So that's this week's Tech-A video newsletter. Don't forget, we're every Friday, so come back next week and we'll have an update and see what's happened. Okay guys, have a great week, and I will see you then. Bye bye.